Hi guys, welcome back to another Big Al Devlin video and another part of our Man Talk series, and this is all about what annoys Big Al at the gym. Now, what is freshest on my mind at the moment, because it's happened to me today, yesterday, the day before, is guys who use equipment for things it's not designed to be used for. Now sometimes that's called improvisation, and that's a good thing, but when you've got a squat rack, which is pretty much in the name, squat, when guys come and use a squat rack to do biceps, that annoys Big Al. And unfortunately at the moment, the guy who's doing it, I mean, he's training biceps 3 days in a row. He's a friend of mine, so I can't really say anything to him, but he's going in the squat rack and he's not spending 5, 10, 15 minutes doing his bicep curls in the squat rack, as I say. He's spending 30 to 40 to 50 minutes at a time in that squat rack doing biceps when I want to do my leg workout. Now it's so annoying. I mean, you do not, guys, if you're thinking of doing it, don't do it, because you don't need to do it. Either use a bench, put the bar on the bench and lift it off if you've got a bad back or you don't want to bend down and pick the weight up. But to be honest guys, this guy who's doing it, he's about 5 foot nothing, if that. He's closer to the ground than everyone else. You'd think you'd be able to pick the bar off the ground, you know? But guys, when I do it, I'm 6'3", I pick the bar off the ground. It's no big issue. So guys, if you want to train biceps, train it off the ground or off a bench or something else. Do not train in the squat rack, because you're holding up guys who can only train. That's the thing is, squat can only be trained in the squat rack. You can't train it anywhere else unless you do the Smith machine, but that's a different kind of exercise. That's machine work. If you want to do free weights as on squat, you have to have a squat rack. There's no other way about it. So don't use equipment which has to be used for specific exercises, because you're going to annoy people and you're going to annoy Big Al, and I'm going to come after you. But other things on top of that, I suppose things which are related to that is, as I say, people who hog equipment. Now I'm bad. I'm bad enough myself. I train on certain pieces of equipment for long periods of time. Sometimes my workouts last 45 minutes and I'll spend most of that time on one piece of equipment. But you know guys, I'm not selfish, you know. If you come up to me and ask me, you know, how many sets you got left, I may say, well, I've got quite a few left, mate. But you know what, you can join in and you can work in with me. I don't mind sharing equipment, even if you're lifting a tenth of the weight I'm lifting, or even 2-3 times the weight I'm lifting. I don't care. Even though it's going to slow me down, I'd rather you work in rather than you stand next to me, hovering over me, waiting for the equipment like this. This is how the guy's standing over you, like looking at you like 5 inches away. And I'm like, oh, you know, so you rush your workout, you know. So I'd rather you work in with me. But there's some guys out there, and I've had this done to me, not often, but maybe 2-3 times over the 7-8 years I've been training. The guy, you go up to him, how many sets you got left, blah blah blah, and you go, well, you know, can I work in with you? I'll warm up to start off with, so I'm doing your weight, you know, because normally they're lifting light weights. It's normally the small guys who back chat you like this, and they go, no mate, I don't want you training with me, you know. And it's just like, seriously, you're going to make me hang around for ages when you could quite easily share this equipment during your rest periods when you're not using the weight anyway. I'll rack the weights, I'll put the weights on and take them off. I don't care. I'll pull my own weight. I'll make myself worth to you. Have worth to you, you know, to your workout. I'll cheer you on. I'll spot you. Just let me work in with you, you know. So guys who are incredibly selfish for that reason, you know, they really do annoy me. And I can understand, right? I'm not saying it's the same in every situation. If there's 4 or 5 guys, I've had it myself when I'm training by myself or with one of my mates or something, and 3 or 4 guys come over, and I'm like, no, it's too much. You can't have more than 3 guys really on a piece of equipment, because it then does tend to ruin your workout, you know. But other than in those situations, guys, just share the equipment. It's general etiquette, general manners. At the end of the day, we're in a public gym, guys. We're paying gym membership the same. We're all paying the same amount. That means at times when it's busy, let's share, guys. Sharing is caring, right? But other than that, guys, I suppose other things that annoy me. Well, you know, let's look at the changing rooms, for example. So we focus mainly on the gym, but things do happen in the changing rooms as well. Take, for example, this. You walk in, I'm sure it's happened to a few guys in there, you walk into changing rooms and just outside your locker, there's a huge pool of water because someone has gone into the shower room and they've come out without a towel and they've soaked the floor. So you can't get changed or unchanged without soaking yourself as well. I mean, how uncaring is that? And in fact, actually, one day I was with my training partner. He picked up on it and noticed the guy who had done it. And he goes, "Mate, what are you doing? You just soaked outside our locker." And the guy goes, he thought he was hard, right? He thought he was a bit of a chav. And he goes, "Well, what am I supposed to do about it, mate? What can I do? I can't do nothing, can I?" It was like that, exactly how he spoke. And I just put him down in 1 second. I said, "Mate, it's called a towel. A toddler knows how to use it. It doesn't take much of a brain to be able to use a towel. Use your towel." Because the guy had walked out of the shower, no towel, completely dripping, hadn't dried himself down at all, walked in front of everyone, you know, you walked the scenic route down, so we say, and soaked everywhere. Anyway, the guy didn't argue after that, put him down, and hopefully he's learned his lesson. But it's just so uncaring, guys. Definitely, if you come out the shower, just dry yourself down quickly, because it is annoying for the guys who have to come in after you. You know, a couple of drops of water, you know, that's always going to happen. No one cares about that. But when it's a huge pool of water, it's just out of order, guys. Other things, well, first of all, let's go into what I do wrong. You know, I'm not perfect either. First of all, I like to play a little game called rainbow weights. When in the gym that I train in, all the weights are different colours and the colour coordinating. It's pretty standard in most gyms. Red means it's a 25 kilogram plate, blue a 20 kilogram plate, yellow 15, red is a 10 again, and black for 5s and 2.5s. So you know exactly what you're lifting just by looking at the colours. Now, I'm a bit of a child, so when I take the weights off my bar, I tend to put them on the stacks and paint a rainbow, as I say. So I take a red one and I take a yellow one and I take a blue one, and I like to make a really colourful stack, even though obviously every colour's a different weight. Now I know that annoys people, I'm a child, I apologise, if people pull me up on it I will fix it, don't worry. But that is my issue. But it's a lot better than what some people do, and I tell you what, it's generally the people who come in to get a beach body or during the January period, you know, because of a New Year's resolution. Basically, people will come in for 1 week, 2 weeks, a month at most, out of every year, just to buff up so they look good on the beach. They can go like this and pose because they think it pulls the girls, or because in January they feel fat, they've eaten a lot of chocolate, a lot of turkey, all that kind of stuff, and they feel guilty. But you know, these guys have no gym etiquette. They don't understand what basic manners are because they're not at the gym. They don't have to live with the consequences of being muppets, basically. And so when they come in, say they're lifting 140 kilogram on the squat rack or on a bench bar or whatever, they will come in, and once they finish their workout, they will walk away and leave all 3 of the 20 kilogram plates aside on the bar. So when you come, you have to strip the bar before you can even start your workout. So guys, always strip the bar, even if it's to take the weights from the bar to put it on the ground or on the rack or anywhere, it doesn't matter, it's better than leaving it on the bar. Now, you will notice, and don't pick on people who do this, if you go to a very hardcore bodybuilding or powerlifting gym, you will always find, normally on an empty bar, you will find 20 kilograms aside on either side. That's because that's the standard warm-up weight. I always warm up on 60 kilos, be it on squat, bench, deadlift, whatever. People would normally always leave 20 kilos aside on. That's not because they're being rude, it's just because that's their sort of house rules of the gym. And that's because most of the guys in there are strong. You know, most people don't go on and warm up on 5 kilograms aside. What other things annoy me? Well, I must admit, noise doesn't bother me. I'm a very quiet lifter. I barely grunt when I lift. And if I do shout or scream, it's generally because I'm lifting a light weight and I'm just showing off, entertaining people. But when I'm very serious, when I'm lifting a weight which is very heavy for me, I go dead silent. But there's a lot of lifters out there like, blah, blah, like this all the time in training. And, like King Kong or whatever. But there's a lot of guys who do that, and I would take my hat off to them, because if that's what they need to do to psych up, to get their strength, then that's what they need to do. Leave them alone, guys. I hate, and this is what I hate, people who interfere and think they own the gym. You know, they come in and go, can you stop making so much noise? Can you stop grunting? Can you stop shouting and all the rest of it? Leave the guys alone. You're the interfering one. You know, most of the time they don't consider the fact that when they're in the aerobics room and they've got their instructor with the big microphone and the music and you go, and 1, and 2, and step, and 1. That's noisy. That's noisier than the guy grunting. And we have to tolerate that all the time because there's always an aerobics class on or a yoga class or something with a big microphone. And, you know, we tolerate you, so you tolerate us, you know? And I just hate people who interfere like that. Again, like I said earlier, it's a public gym. One of the things we have to do is we have to tolerate one another, right guys? I mean, that's what you just have to do it. If you don't want to tolerate other people's noise or anything like that, then get your own gym, or get some equipment in your house, or go to a private instructor who has equipment in their place or something like that. Now, one of the worst situations I've had similar to this wasn't directed at me. This was as I started lifting, so it was about 8 years ago. So I was a skinny little runt at the time, and I tell you what, there was a professional MMA fighter, so we're talking high class athlete. He made his money out of fighting in the ring, so he trained hard, because if he didn't train hard, he got beaten up. And there was this old lady, I mean, I say we're old, she was 50 but more going on to 70. She was older than in her mentality than she was in her body. And she came and she had no idea about training. She went there every day and put no effort into her training. And this poor MMA fighter, he was training so hard, he used to sweat a lot. And he used to dry it down, but he used to sweat a lot. And the woman comes over to him, "Can you stop sweating, please?" Seriously, comes up to him. Now, I can understand you don't want equipment wet, but the guy dried it down after him. He goes, "If you trained properly, if you were fit enough, you wouldn't sweat." Anyway, I'm not going to comment on that anymore, guys, because I mean, seriously, what? If you're training hard, you sweat. It's not the other way around. So I suppose that sums up pretty much what annoys me in the gym. I'm sure there's a lot more what annoys me, and I'm sure there's a lot more that annoys you guys, so please share them in the comments. But other than that, guys, the video is over, so please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Nice one, guys.